Welcome, fellow travelers, to a world that truly comes alive after dark. Before we dive into the glittering secrets of Monte Carlo, make sure you subscribe to our channel, so you don't miss anything. We have a whole playlist of exclusive destinations just like this one, so you won't want to miss a thing. And trust me, you'll want to stay until the very end of this journey. We're about to pull back the curtain on a place where dreams and reality blur under the glow of neon and moonlight. This is Monte Carlo, the dazzling heart of Monaco, a tiny principality that punches far above its weight in glamour, wealth, mystery. As the sun dips below the horizon, the French Riviera takes on a new personality. The day's relaxed Mediterranean charm gives way to a palpable, electric energy. Imagine standing on a balcony, the cool sea breeze gently rustling the palm trees below. The harbor begins to sparkle, with reflections of stars on the water, the thousands of lights from super yachts like floating palaces. Each one is a private kingdom, its decks hosting parties you can only imagine. The air itself seems to hum with anticipation, a promise of the extraordinary night that is about to unfold. Then you hear it. It's a sound that defines this city as much as the clinking of champagne glasses, the deep, guttural roar of a supercar engine echoing through the winding streets. A Lamborghini Aventador, painted in a color you've never seen before, glides past, its driver a silhouette behind tinted glass. It's followed by a classic Ferrari, then a sleek McLaren. They aren't just modes of transport here. They are statements, moving sculptures that announce the arrival of the world's elite heading for the legendary Casino de Monte Carlo. This is just the opening act in a nightly performance of opulence. The casino square, with its iconic facade, becomes a stage. The warm golden light spills out from its grand entrance, illuminating the faces of those who have come to see and be seen. The atmosphere is thick with the scent of expensive perfume, the murmur of a dozen different languages, and the subtle, almost silent dance of power and influence. Join us as we step into this hidden world, where every corner holds a secret, and every night is an event. This is the real Monte Carlo, and its story is just beginning. The transformation begins subtly, almost shyly. One moment you are shielding your eyes from the bright Mediterranean sun reflecting off the azure water of Port Hercules. The next, the light softens. It becomes a rich, syrupy gold that bathes everything in a warm, cinematic glow. This is the golden hour in Monaco, and it serves as the official curtain raiser for the evening's grand performance. The daytime crowds of tourists, with their maps, sensible shoes, begin to thin out. They are replaced by a different kind of visitor, one that seems to emerge with the lengthening shadows, dressed in quiet luxury and moving with an air of purpose. Down at the waterfront, the atmosphere shifts from a bustling port to an exclusive promenade. The gentle lapping of waves against the hulls of billion-dollar yachts provides a soothing rhythm, a calm before the storm of the night's festivities. Crew members in crisp white uniforms perform their final duties, polishing chrome railings until they gleam, arranging plush cushions on deck. They move with a practiced efficiency, their actions a silent testament to the high standards of this floating world. The sea breeze carries the faint scent of salt mixed with the more decadent aroma of gourmet dinners being prepared in hidden galleys below deck. The cafes and restaurants lining the harbor start to fill up. Their terraces, which were lively but casual during the day, now feel more like front-row seats to a spectacular show. People here don't just eat, they dine. They linger over their aperitifs, their faces illuminated by the soft candlelight, their eyes scanning the scene. They are watching the world go by, but they are also very much a part of the spectacle themselves. From this vantage point, you see the first signs of the evening's migration. The flow of people is now moving in one direction, upwards. They walk away from the serene harbor and towards the pulsating heart of the city that looms above. The climb is not just a physical one, It feels like an ascent into another realm. You leave the relative calm of the sea level and head towards the promise of high stakes, high fashion, and high society. The distant hum of traffic grows louder, the lights on the hillside begin to twinkle more intensely, and you know the main event is about to begin. The walk from the harbor to the casino square is a journey through layers of luxury. As you leave the waterfront behind, you begin to climb the winding roads and staircases carved into the rock. Every step takes you further into the world of the ultra-wealthy. The architecture changes. The air now carries the fragrance of night-blooming jasmine and expensive leather interiors. The sounds of the city change. Gentle harbor sounds dissolve. A more sophisticated soundtrack emerges. Snippets of live piano music. The murmur of conversation grows more refined. You pass by the windows of high-fashion boutiques. Their displays are lit like museum exhibits. These aren't just shops. They are temples of desire. Finally, you emerge into the open space. The sight takes your breath away. The Casino de Monte Carlo stands before you. Hôtel de Paris, Café de Paris, a dazzling triangle of opulence. The Place du Casino is not a place for quiet observation. It is a theater, and the main act is the arrival. Ferraris glide up, Bugattis glide up, Rolls-Royces glide up to the casino entrance, their engines purring rather than roaring. Each arrival is a mini-event. Heads turn. Phones are subtly raised to capture the moment. A team of valets orchestrates this automotive symphony. They greet the owners by name, a small but significant detail that speaks to the level of personal service. The keys are exchanged, a silent contract of trust, and the car is whisked away. As the car doors open, the passengers emerge. They are not just going to a casino, they are making an entrance. Their movements are poised and deliberate. They know they are being watched, and they play their part to perfection. Meanwhile, the terraces of the Café de Paris are packed. This is the ultimate people-watching spot in Monaco. Here you see the entire social spectrum of Monte Carlo at night. The players arriving for the high-stakes games, the tourists watching in awe, and the locals who have seen it all before but still enjoy the show. Let's return to the water's edge where a different kind of kingdom holds court. Port Hercules isn't just a harbor. It is a showroom for the world's most extravagant super yachts. As night deepens, these vessels transform into luminous floating palaces. Each yacht is a masterpiece of naval architecture and bespoke luxury. The sheer scale of these yachts is difficult to comprehend from the shore. Some stretch longer than a football field. They are equipped with features that defy belief. Helipads, swimming pools that convert into dance floors, private cinemas, even their own submarines. These are not just for travel, they are self-contained resorts, designed to provide every conceivable comfort and entertainment for their billionaire owners and esteemed guests. Monaco offers more than just a beautiful backdrop. It provides unparalleled security, discretion, a social scene that is second to none. Imagine for a moment that you are not on the shore looking in, but on a tender, gliding across the harbor. From this perspective, the city of Monte Carlo rises up like a glittering amphitheater. The yachts tower over you like illuminated skyscrapers lying on their side. Looking up at the decks, the scenes are like living dioramas of the high life. Each yacht tells a different story, a snapshot of a life lived on a grand scale. You notice the sheer perfection of everything. There is not a single scuff mark. The teak decks are scrubbed. The stainless steel is polished to a mirror shine. They can be part of the spectacle when they choose, and retreat into their own private world at a moment's notice, shielded from the gaze of the outside world. For every guest enjoying a glass of champagne on the sun deck, there's a whole team of people working tirelessly below. The crew quarters, often referred to as below deck, are the hidden engine that powers the entire operation. Here, chefs, engineers, stewards, and deckhands work in close coordination to deliver a 7-star experience around the clock. The day for a crew member starts long before the guests wake up and ends long after they have gone to bed. The engineer is perhaps the most crucial person you never see. Tucked away in a noisy, hot engine room, they are the heart of the yacht. A single technical failure can disrupt the entire guest experience, so the pressure to maintain perfection is immense. Professionalism and discretion are paramount. Crew members are trained to be ghosts, present when needed, invisible when not. On the docks, another ecosystem comes to life. Vans arrive in a steady stream. Contents: crates of fine wine, boxes of fresh produce, bespoke flower arrangements, designer shopping bags, silent communication between crews, a nod of acknowledgement, a shared gripe about a demanding guest. They understand pressures no outsider could. Tenders, water taxis zip back and forth, lights tracing paths across dark water, delivering guests from a late dinner or taking them to another yacht for a nightcap. Security patrols move quietly along the quays. A perfectly managed environment for safety and exclusivity, letting inhabitants of these floating kingdoms enjoy Monte Carlo without a worry. Leaving the theater of the square behind, we step through the grand entrance of the Casino de Monte Carlo. The air inside is different. It's cool, hushed, and heavy with history. This is not just a casino. It is a Belle Époque masterpiece, a palace dedicated to the goddess of fortune. The sheer opulence of the decor is staggering. To enter this hallowed space, one must first navigate a strict social code. The dress code is the first test. No shorts, no sports shoes. The casino's story is intertwined with the very survival of Monaco itself. Princess Caroline had a radical idea: build a grand casino. It was a huge gamble, but it paid off spectacularly. It's not the loud, brash noise of Las Vegas. It's a more subdued and sophisticated symphony. The gentle clatter of chips, the quiet whir of the roulette wheel, the soft thud of the ball finding its numbered pocket. The croupiers, impeccably dressed and intensely focused, conduct the games with a calm, almost hypnotic rhythm. They speak in low, formal tones, their French phrases, "Faites vos jeux, rien ne va plus," adding to the timeless, cinematic quality of the experience. Rien ne va plus. Beyond the main halls lie the salons privés, the private rooms. To enter here is to pass through another layer of exclusivity. The stakes are higher, the atmosphere is more intense, the privacy is absolute. An air of serious business. Players study each other, looking for any sign of weakness, any tell that might betray their hand. It is a game of immense pressure. A player might lose an amount equivalent to a luxury car and simply give a slight shrug. This is the code of the high roller, to treat vast sums of money as mere tools of the game. It is a performance of financial power, where the true sign of wealth is not how much you win, but how much you can afford to lose. As the night wears on, the energy shifts from the formal halls of the casino to the pulsating heart of Monte Carlo's club scene. Gaining entry is not a simple matter. Your name must be on the list. Without a reservation, the velvet rope remains firmly in place. Inside, you step into a world of curated hedonism. A bottle of premium champagne can cost thousands, and is often delivered with a theatrical display of sparklers and a procession of staff. These clubs are playgrounds for the young, rich, and famous. A Formula One driver, a supermodel, or a tech billionaire. One of the first rules: never appear impressed. Correct response: a nod of mild appreciation, not wide-eyed awe. Status is shown through other means: the watch on their wrist, the quiet mention of a house in St. Bart's, the name of the person who secured their dinner reservation. Privacy is Monaco's most valuable commodity. Taking photos without explicit permission is the ultimate sin. Ultimately, the social code maintains the illusion. Illusion of effortless elegance, illusion of limitless wealth, illusion of a life free from ordinary concerns. It's a carefully constructed world. Everyone has a role. To succeed, master your role. Learn the script. Become a seamless part of Monte Carlo's nightly spectacle. As the first hint of dawn begins to soften the eastern sky, the frenetic energy of Monte Carlo finally begins to subside. We have journeyed through a world of glittering surfaces and hidden depths, from the public theater of the casino square to the private kingdoms floating in the harbor. This duality is the very essence of Monte Carlo's allure. It is a place that thrives on being seen, yet holds its most profound secrets close to its heart. As the sun rises and the street sweepers begin their work, the city prepares to do it all over again, a timeless cycle of glamour and discretion. Thank you for joining us on this journey into the heart of Monte Carlo's hidden world. We hope you've enjoyed this glimpse behind the curtain. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell so you never miss another adventure. Be sure to check out our playlist for more exclusive destinations around the globe. As the new day washes over the harbor, one thing is certain. The secrets of the night are safe, waiting to be whispered again when the sun goes down. Stay tuned, because our exploration of the world's most fascinating places is far from over.